Today I want to run you through the plan for the brand new goat field we're going to be doing in the next sort of month or so. I'm really excited for this, so let's get straight into it. So if you've seen any other of my videos, you would have known these are my goats, and then this is their field they have at the moment. Now, I want to expand this. Now at the moment, my fields are really good size for my goats, and they don't really need more space, but I'm going to be breeding them at the end of the year, and that's why I need the extra field. So the goats I'm going to be breeding are Phoebe and Maya. Now they need the extra field to go with the billy goat to get away from Henry and Oscar, and they can also have the kids in that field as well, and that's going to be really good. So as you can see, next to my goat field there's this huge field here, which is good because I can expand out into this. Now someone else does rent out that field for their horses, but luckily we're able to have a small amount of space just over here. So for the actual shape and size of the new field, we're going to be going up from this post here all the way up to where you can see that long grass there across and then back down. Now the new field is not going to be as big as the space they've already got, but it's going to be really good for a couple of reasons. So some of the positives to having the new field, obviously we've got the ones for breeding the goats where the billy goat can go Phoebe and Maya away from Henry and Oscar, and Phoebe and Maya can also have their kids in there. But we can also use the field to wean the kids off their mums, which would be great. And then we can use it in the summer or the winter to kind of control grazing a bit more. We can have the goats shut in this field, and then when it gets eaten down we can move them into the other field, but it also gives us more space if we keep any of the kids. Now that stuff out of the way, I want to go over the more exciting stuff, the actual plan for the field and the layout and where everything's going. So obviously I've said we're going to come from this post to go up all the way up to the long grass over there and give the goats all this space here. Now what we're going to be doing the same fencing solution because it's a more affordable option and it works for my goats, and also it's quite temporary because I'm not going to be using this field for many years. It'll probably be like 2 or 3 if I'm lucky. So we're going to be using the chicken wire again to kind of border off the field a bit like we have here, so it's like a proper edge to the field. And obviously this does not hold goats in any way, so I really don't recommend you have something else. And what I use is the electric fencing because that just stops the goats from trying to go through because they don't like the shock. Now what we're going to be doing the same again here for this whole field. You're going to have to use your imagination here, but the fence line obviously is going to come up across here and then I believe come to that post of this horse electric fencing here, and then the fencing is going to go down to the big bush and then along the bush and then join back up with the field over there. Now there are a couple of extra bits that will be going on this fencing as well. So as well as the fencing, I'm going to be putting in 2 gates as well. One obviously to get into the field, and then we're going to have one over this end of the field so we can get to the water, and then also if we need to bring a car in, for example, we can pull up right to the goat field and get in right on this side. So at the moment I don't know if the gate's going in across here or like down here, but somewhere down this end so we can get to the water nice and easily, and you can also drive in and cut up there and then come through the horse paddocks to here. And also it makes bringing in the billy goat nice and simple. So the second gate for this new field is going to be going in here as well, because I basically come up alongside the fencing and then come through that bit of the gap of the fence and then walk around and go in here. But we're going to have our second gate over here so we can come into this field and then use this one to get in between the two. And this time we're going to be upgrading what sort of gates we use. Obviously this was kind of like a DIY gate and it works well, but it's a bit flimsy and Oscar breaks it quite often. But now we're going to be using some proper metal stock gates, I believe, and they'll do a much better job. Now when it comes to what's actually in the new field, I want to put in like a proper big shed over here. Nothing super crazy, but somewhere we can put 4 or 5 hay bales and some extra straw bales, but also it'll give us a good amount of space for the girls to go in and have their kids and kind of spread out a bit. But the new shed's not going to be anything as crazy as these horse stables over here. Something bigger than we've already got, but obviously not too big that it's loads and loads of money, because I don't want to spend thousands of pounds on this. Now I will also be making a brand new climb frame for the goats and a couple other small toys, but I'm not going to overdo it because obviously it's a small field and I don't want them to not be able to run around or browse through all the grass and things like that. Now there is one major downside to this field, and that is there's no shade whatsoever, apart from like the smallest amount over by the bushes there. So that's going to pose a bit of a problem in the summer, obviously when it's really warm. But what I can do is I can just open up the gate and let them hang out down by the trees down here. But I am also going to make some shade with climb frames like I have here, or even put up like a big sun like shade thing for them to hide underneath. Now my original plan was for the field to come down the bottom of this tree line here, but the lady who has the horses wanted there to be enough shade for their horses, so obviously that wasn't really something we could do, and that's why we've gone for this area over here. So a rough timescale for this project when it's going to be completed. Now in the next month or so the posts for the fencing will be going in the ground, which is obviously a very good start, but I think by the 20th of November it should be completely finished. Now I'm not going to be buying the electric fencing or the sheds or anything until probably next month, until we're starting to near the end game kind of. But once we get to that point there's going to be a lot of updates on this, so subscribe if you're really excited to see the new field and how it goes with breeding the goats as well. Now when it comes to cost of doing this, somebody quoted us about £2,000 to do it all with proper stock fencing and proper gates and all this sort of stuff, and obviously that's quite a lot of money. Now obviously I understand that money was with quality and it was a proper person putting in proper fencing for the goats that would just worked really well, but I don't want to be here on this land renting for more than 2, even 3 years at the max, because I would like to have my own field with my own goats, and I can probably invest a good amount of money into good fencing and good gates and all sorts of good sheds and that sort of thing. But for now we're just doing what works at this place and kind of doing it more affordable because I don't want to break the bank, basically, to put it simply. Now I am really excited to get this done because the new field's going to be so great for the goats, and also we can do a lot of cool new projects in this field where we can just shut the goats in the new field for a couple of days. We can just work on things in here. Now Oscar and Henry are going to benefit from this the least because obviously they're not going to be bred at all, they're just wethers, they're kicking about, but it should be good in the long term, gives them a bit more space to go out and explore a different field maybe, and we can maybe even move them further up into the trees, maybe on the longer grass at the back, to let them go through and graze a bit more because they really like being outside the field and being a bit more natural. Now I know I've said this a lot, but I'm really excited for this. It's similar to like getting goats again because we're making a new field for new goats. It's going to be so awesome. But when we get the billy goat in there with the girls, and then when they have kids with it, it's going to be so awesome. It's going to be our this is our winter project, you know, getting the field right, getting the girls ready for their kids, and then them having kids, and then going summer again, raising the kids, and then start it all over again. It's going to be so awesome. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm so ready for it to start now. It's going to be so awesome. So thank you for watching today's video and the update and the full plan. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so cool. Subscribe if you want to see that and how it goes for the goats. But until we get to then, we've got plenty of videos of the goats already on the channel, and there's plenty there to check out about them. Things like vet updates and also buying the goats as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.